30-minute reviews, beware of spoilers, and exploring hyperspace lanes are all available ad-free. But if you want to support the show, you can go to bewareofspoilers.com and click the support button that's available on the Spotify website. Thank you. Good morning, and welcome to Beware of Spoilers. I am Adam. I still feel a little nasally. It's been a rough, month or so on that front. I don't know, I feel kinda... My issue is I don't have health insurance until the 1st, so I kinda gotta just keep the, keep myself from getting too sick between now and the end of the month. But I've been having this recurring sinus infection and now fucking this bullshit that I got going on. And so I'm gonna drive around this morning and talk to you about, Percy Jackson, the Olympians. So, I really enjoyed the casting of Ares in this. I don't know the actor's name off the top of my head. I really like the way he played Ares. And I think that these new interpretations of Ares in pop culture are things that I do tend to enjoy. The idea that, he is not an overt, causing wars. He's just kind of the intermediary who's kind of, causing people to cause wars. Like, him sitting there and being, on Twitter, and just starting shit on Twitter and just hilarious. And there's a great comedic beat too, that it all comes down from framing, and it's one of the best examples of using cinematography for comedic effect, where it's, the three of them are coming off the last time. They can't take mass transit anymore. They are wanted for what happened on the train, the Amtrak train, and what happened at the Gateway Arch in St. Louis. They're now wanted by the FBI, so they can't take trains or buses or anything like that. To which I say, as someone who took Amtrak for many years and never once got ID'd, I don't think it'd be that hard for them to risk getting on an Amtrak train. And the same goes for, the Megabus or something like that. I think they're overselling just how risky that it would be for them. It is... I don't think it's that big of it would be that big of a deal, or that big of a leap in logic if they just got on a bus while still wanted. I don't think it would have been that big of an issue. But either way, alright, well, we're wanted, we can't get on a bus, we can't get on a train. What do we do? It's alright, we walk. So they're walking along the freeway in the fucking Midwest, and they hear a car coming. It's okay, so we can hitchhike with this guy. And it's no, it's not a car, it's a bike. So as the bikes come in, they go and hide behind the guardrail, which is this big cement block guardrail. And the guy who's on the bike, we end up finding out is Ares, pulls up, and then it cuts to this wide shot of him on the bike talking to them, you guys need help? And then just one by one, them peeking their heads out from behind it, no, we're good. We're good, we don't need help. And it's just this thing where it's anytime one of them talks, they just peek their head up over, and it's no, we don't need help. It's such a great comedic beat. And then for it to go from there to the scene there. All the stuff in the, in the amusement park, it's fun enough. It's interesting enough to keep you engaged. And I think, too, the relationship between Annabeth and Percy is kind of what's selling me on this show, because I think the two of them have great chemistry. And one of the thoughts I had as I was watching this is that this confirms two things. One, when they do the Harry Potter show on HBO Max, or on Max, or whatever the fuck they're doing with this, when it happens, if it happens, that show will 100% do what they did in Cursed Child and have Hermione be black. But that's, again, we've talked about this before. It's about hyperspace lanes. Not that that's a problem. It's not a bad thing. The bad thing is, I don't believe Warner Brothers is going to give that poor girl the protection against online abuse that girl is going to be dealing with constantly. Whoever that poor girl is, and the girl here, I don't know her name. I don't know any of the actors' names, to be honest. Besides Lin-Manuel Miranda, who's in the next episode as Hermes, according to the coming attraction. Like, the whole thing is kind of, you know, their relationship's great, and having their relationship unfold on camera is very fun. And getting to see them kind of grow into these roles and grow into, you know, actually caring about each other, and it started with that contentious relationship at the beginning, and then growing to them starting to care about each other. It's really, you know, it works, and I think that because it works, the show works. What else? I think Grover. See, and that's the thing too. It's like the kid's name is Grover, the other guy, and I can never remember what his name is, and it's like it's a Sesame Street character, and I'm like, Elmo? No, Grover. He has some great moments in this episode with Aries too. I do really like the way they play with them, and there's that scene too where Grover is talking to Aries like he's a rock star. He's talking about his lesser known works, not his big bombastic wars that everyone knows about. No, I like your smaller indie stuff. Like that whole bit was so it's not laugh out loud funny, but it's amusing enough where it's like, yeah, that's kind of fun, like the way they're playing with that. And you know, this idea of him playing Aries the way he does to give him, like, you know, look, this war is coming. Someone's trying to start the war between the gods. And Aries just be like, look, that war is happening whether we want it to or not. There's nothing we can really do to stop it at this point. And him being like, yeah, but, you know, your sister's going to be the one to solve it. His sister being, I think Aphrodite was the one you were talking about. Or it's Athena. And he's like, so she's a know-it-all. And pitting and using the gods', you know, vanity and the infighting that's consistent among the Greek gods, using that against each other, using that to his advantage against Ares to get Ares to do what he wants, is a really smart moment, and it really showcases Grover's ingenuity a little bit, where something like that is something that previously we only really saw out of, what's her name? Out of Annabeth. So it's cool to see Grover get his chance to do something similar. What else have we got? I think it's like this show again. I think I said this last week. Like, if this show came out when I was 10 years old, like, this show would be my entire personality. Like, this would be Harry Potter for me, because I would watch this show as a kid and just love the shit out of it. And I know that because as an adult, as someone who's almost 30, watching the show, I'm like, God damn, like, I sit down and I watch every episode, and I'm like, this is just, you know, well made, and the, you know, the kids in the lead are all great, and it's the kind of thing where it's like, I'm like, do I want to start using my Audible credits to go back in and read these books? I'm like, kinda. Like, I not 100%, but kinda do. Because I never read the books, and it's like, I know this is the definitive version of adapting this, because there was also those two movies where they did, you know, Lightning Thief, and then they did Sea of Monsters with Logan Lerman, and I think it's Logan Lerman. Was it Logan Lerman, or was it that other kid who was in Maze Runner? Either way, and I know Alexander Daddario was in it, but like, it was those two. Like, those two happened, and I never watched those either. But it's not that I have a desire to go back and watch those and see what else happened with this. But it's the, you know, it is this. You know, I want to go back to the source material, and And I think one of the things, I don't think I've talked about since we've started talking about this, is Rick Riordan. Riordan. I gotta look up how to pronounce his name, because I'm like, he does what Tom Clancy does, where there's a bunch of other books that are kind of similar to Percy Jackson, but about the mythology of other cultures. And for him to do that, and to attach his branding and his name power to telling stories about, like ancient Chinese or ancient ancient Central American, and ancient Native, and other. Because I saw there's definitely one about like ancient Aztec stuff, and it's like, and the Egyptians, and it's like for him to lend it to tell more diverse stories, that is certainly worth noting too. And yeah, I mean, this is a series that is, incredibly well made. And it's a show that I like, unlike last year, where last year's two shows around this time on Disney Plus were Willow and what was the other one? Willow and National Treasure. Like, this time I'm tuning in every week, and I'm like, I'm looking forward to this every week, not begrudgingly watching it because I'm doing a podcast about it. Like, I am interested in this, and I'm excited for this every week. And next week we get to see Lin-Manuel Miranda exactly as you've seen him before, because he's playing Hermes, and he's just a guy in a sweatshirt. So, yeah. So we'll get into that next week. At some point in next week, we're also going to do American Fiction, which is now in theaters nationwide, and Book of Clarence, which is also in theaters nationwide. Monday, we'll have the first official episode with the new format for 30-minute reviews, where we'll be talking about Begin Again, the movie with, the movie by John Carney, who I really enjoy his movies, and his love for music. I've only seen Sing Street and Florence so far, but, those two were both really good. I really enjoyed both of them. And then we got, we're going to do Ted. Ted, the series about... Cause I saw a clip last night and I thought, that's kind of funny. But we'll be doing Ted, and we'll be doing... There's another one. There's a new show on Apple TV Plus we're going to be doing, too, with Peter Capaldi. And I just enjoy him as an actor, even though I didn't watch his run on Doctor Who. Because I really enjoyed him in The Thick of It and in The Loop. If you haven't watched The Thick of It, that would be my recommendation for a good comedy show to watch. It's Veep, but it's British Parliament. And Peter Capaldi is the fixer, and he's a spin doctor. It's really funny, and it, like, him being in a show is enough to get me to tune in. So we'll be doing that, and we'll also be doing Masters of the Sky, the new Band of Brothers show that they're doing, which is, it's not Band of Brothers based, but it is the same production team behind it as Band of Brothers in the Pacific, but it's about the Air Corps during World War II. So if you want to listen to that, we'll be talking about that as well every week, starting whenever, that's the end of the month. But that's all we have for today. So until our next episode, have a great rest of your